whether it is fornication, it's adultery, it's lying, it's stealing, it's murder, whatever the nature of sin, in love we should correct people and continuously admonish them.
And even talking about abuse, even some pastors abuse their wives.
I think it is high time we begin to teach them that it isn't just about this woman is beautiful, this man is fine, so that you can point to people, this is my husband.
Exactly.
It takes a lot to be in marriage.
Oral sex has a lot of implications, and one of it is the fact that it is one of the easiest way for the transmission of sexually transmitted diseases.
Trying to get something from somewhere you don't like, you will chop their money, and that money you eat fufu with it can block your womb. There is a woman who is praying, but most of these young girls don't know that they are enlarging.
You see, so most married men go out there and lie to innocent girls.
That who told you are innocent? These hypocritic girls.
Some of the girls are innocent. Because I know some girls who will tell you that if you are married, forget.
It's happening again on GTV Live. Get the family together and let's pray for God's glory. Join Weekend Review with Dollarich on GTV Live in Redeeming the Family Glory, an exclusive atmosphere of worship and prayer. GTV Live, your religion and culture channel, invites you to come intercede, rebuild and to restore the family glory. The venue is Fountain Gate Assemblies of God, Chantang, opposite Apekamoto Way, JHS with Reverend Godson at Sigbeche. Date 1st May 2016, time 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. sharp. Theme, the family honor. Proverbs chapter 13 verse 22. Precious one, Evangelist Nicole Dollarich of Weekend Review Show on GTV Live believes you can redeem the family glory through relentless prayer.
Here's my mind, I give you my soul, Lord.
Hello precious viewer, welcome to yet another beautiful weekend with us here at GTV Live, your religion and culture channel. Now, you know, when we sit, it is because of Weekend Review, and we are saying that our core mandate still remains bringing the family together, reshaping society for tomorrow's generations. And you know, my name is Nicole Dollarich. Now, today we are coming to discuss something very important and very interesting. As I usually say, call somebody also to call somebody to tune into the program. We'll be going for a quick break. When we come, I introduce my guest on set so that we continue with whatever we have to do today. But Redeeming the Family Glory is coming up again. We'll put up the ad and then you follow us. But if there's anything you want to know, we have our WhatsApp line on screen and our Facebook page. Weekend Review with Dollarich. Get connected to us and let's get the program rolling. We'll see you in a jiffy.
Tell me, what can I do?
It's happening again on GTV Live. Get the family together and let's pray for God's glory. Join Weekend Review with Dollarich on GTV Live in Redeeming the Family Glory, an exclusive atmosphere of worship and prayer. GTV Live, your religion and culture channel, invites you to come intercede, rebuild and to restore the family glory. The venue is Fountain Gate Assemblies of God, Chantang, opposite Apekamoto Way, JHS with Reverend Godson at Sigbeche. Date 1st May 2016, time 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. sharp. Theme, the family honor. Proverbs chapter 13 verse 22. Precious one, Evangelist Nicole Dollarich of Weekend Review Show on GTV Live believes you can redeem the family glory through relentless prayer.
Here's my mind, I give you my soul, Lord.
You're welcome back. The program still continues and it is Weekend Review right here on GTV Live, your religion and culture channel with me, Nicole Dollarich. Now, I want to emphasize here that we are bringing the family together, reshaping society for tomorrow's generations. That is our core mandate, because we do believe in the next generation. We do believe that we can do something right, something positive to affect the generations after us, and that is the reason why we sit on this program. And today I'm so blessed having these wonderful personalities with me that they are coming to discuss something quite interesting. And let me introduce them. Yes, let me introduce them, and then we can continue from there. And I have on my immediate left this beautiful woman. She will tell us who she is. You are welcome.
Thank you.
And the name is
Desiree Mokwa Upoku.
Wow.
With the Ghana Health Service. Mekma Polyclinic, to be precise.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Wow. And my far left is this handsome gentleman. He will tell us who he is.
All right. My name is Leslie Issa Adam Zakaria. I'm the medical director for the Medical Rescue Group and a resident at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Wow. Viewers, we are discussing something quite interesting here. I chanced on this conversation, this information, and it's quite alarming. And I thought it is worth discussing it on this program because this is the family program, the only family program that brings the family together. And we are discussing going on contraceptives before marriage. Yes, don't get confused. Going on contraceptives, taking contraceptives before you even marry. I mean, a young woman, want to take some pills, want to use, put all kind of things together just to ensure she doesn't get pregnant. For the boyfriend, not the husband. For the boyfriend, we are coming to look at it, the long-term effect, whether there's any advantages to it or whatever. That is why I have my people here, and it's going to get quite interesting. Once again, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, now let me go to Mr. Zakaria first. Even though they say ladies first, I want the man to give us a shot on it first. I don't know what you can say to this. A young lady prefers to go on contraceptive just to please the boyfriend because the idea is she doesn't want to get pregnant. I don't know what you can say to that.
Okay, thank you very much. And good morning to our viewers. Contraception simply means that you don't want to get pregnant, so you are putting in measures to prevent pregnancy. Let me hold brief for the lady a bit. I don't think she's doing it solely because of the man. She's doing it for herself as well. Contraception is good. I don't want anybody to get us wrong.
Exactly.
Contraception is good. In fact, if you compare the benefits and the risks, the benefits far outweigh the risks. Over the years, over time, you hear people complain about side effects and complications of contraceptives, but in general, the advantages contraception gives us far outweigh the disadvantages. It helps the woman decide when she wants to get pregnant. It's so that it will prevent unwanted pregnancies. In fact, it's been shown that contraception alone has reduced maternal mortality in developing countries by up to 40%. So contraception is good. It should be used appropriately. It should be used, the right items should be used. So if any woman, as her right, decides to use a method of contraception, all she has to do is to go to the right place and get the right item, the right commodity to use. Once you do that, you are going to be taught how it's done. The fear is that if it's not used properly, it can affect you negatively. If you don't use the right item, you don't get it from the right source, you can get a fake or one that is expired and it can affect you negatively. But once you decide that you want to use a method of contraception, you would have to go to the right place. There are centers in all our polyclinics have family planning units where they can show you, they will help you decide. You don't impose it on the lady. Once, even teenagers, once you are of age and you can get pregnant, you can walk into any family planning center and then ask for a method, and you'll be taken through the various options, and with the help of the health worker, you'll decide which one to use. So for a lady who doesn't want to get pregnant, partly because she's not married yet, and wants a method, there are various options available, and the moment you decide that you want to be pregnant and you stop the method, within a short period of time, you come back to your normal fertility, just like before you got pregnant. So there's no fear in it. The risks are very, very minimal. There are occasionally we have some side effects, but they are very, very minimal compared to the advantages the family planning method, the contraception offers.
I'll come back to you. You've said a lot. I have 1,001 questions. I'll come back to you. But let's take Auntie Desiree's take on contraception so far.
Yes.
We'll build it,
Well, to add on, contraception is very good. It is safe. And it's a responsible decision to take because you are telling yourself that, well, I want to still enjoy my sexual life, but I don't want any unintended pregnancies because that unintended pregnancy, psychologically, it is not good for the individual. And you get to take control of your life because you say to yourself that maybe for the next 4 years, I want to finish school. Until I finish, I don't want any unintended pregnancy. Yes. And when you look at the mortality rates, the maternal mortality rates, 30% of that number is coming from unsafe abortions. Yes, which tells us that there are people out there who are having sex, they are getting pregnant, and they don't want the pregnancy. So it ends up in these unsafe abortions, and they end up dying.
Yes. I see. Now, let's take it one after the other. Contraceptives. Now, well, when we were growing up, we only knew of condom until all other things were introduced. Fine. And talking about contraceptives, I thought it is normally married people who, like, let's say, because they want to, check their birth rate or all those things to prevent unwanted pregnancy and all that. That is when you come in with all these things. But for somebody who is not married, a school-going girl, and want to prevent pregnancy, if a lady at the age of 20 go on contraceptives for, let's say, 8 years before she gets married, that lifespan, that number of years, what can be the side effect, if there's any?
All right. Thank you very much. For this particular instance, we are referring to a woman who doesn't want to get pregnant now, but intends to get pregnant later. So she'll be advised on the reversible methods, and there are a lot of them. There are some that we implant, the implants we put in for some number of years. And in Ghana, we have those that can even last up to 5 years. We have some that are injectables, so we give you injections every 3 months or every month. Some too, there's what we call the IUD, intrauterine device or intrauterine system. We insert into the womb and it stays there and prevents pregnancy for a number of years, up to even 9 years. So there are various methods, and once you stop using the method, like I said earlier, you are as fertile as before you even started the method. It just sometimes it takes up to a few weeks and everything normalizes because these are hormones that we are dealing with. So the body needs to clear them out of the system and then it normalizes. In a matter of a month or two, you are back to how you were before you started using the method. So the methods, people have feared that if you use a method later when you want to get pregnant, it won't come. No, those ones don't come in at all. Occasionally, there are some side effects that are mild, and within a few weeks they go away. Breast heaviness, breast tenderness, nausea, headaches. They have what we call breakthrough bleeding. These things will just last for a few weeks and then stop. Occasionally, some of the methods have been found to expose people a very small risk of cervical cancer or breast cancer. These are very, very small risks. Even some of the methods actually give you advantage and reduce the risk of developing cancer of the intestines, cancer of the womb, cancer of the ovaries. So they have a lot of advantages. Like I said, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. So as for preventing you from getting pregnant in future, it is very, very unlikely. Very, very unlikely.
I see.
In fact.
Now, I've seen a couple of them here, and I would want us to walk through them one after the other. So you take one after the other, and let's see how best to know.
So, for convenience sake, since we are not doing the unreversible one, we are just going to do the long term and the short term. So for the short term, we have things like that lasts, as the name indicates, it just lasts for a short period. So we have things like the condom. We have the female condom, and then we have the male condom. Those ones, you need to use it anytime you are going to have sex. And mentioning that any time you have sex, so if you are having sex and you tend to go more times, anytime you are going to have the sexual intercourse itself, you need to use the condom. And one good thing about the condom, it has two advantages in the sense that it prevents the unintended pregnancies, and then it prevents you from getting the STI, the HIV. Yes, so it's very beneficial. And it's very affordable. You can go to any drugstore, any chemical store, pharmacy, any health center, and you get your supply. Yes. And then we have the pills. For the pills, we have two sets. We have the combined. This has two hormones, and this has only one hormone. But it's similar to the hormones the females already have in their system. And it works by telling the ovaries here that please stop your work, so we tell you to resume. So once you are not going to get any eggs in the system, there's no way you are going to get pregnant. But then because it's a small pill, the dose is small, so you need to take it every day, and ideally around the same time every day. If you want it, basically, if you want any of the contraceptives to work for you, you have to use it correctly and consistently. This is a once-a-day tablet. Somebody might take it 6 a.m. today. Tomorrow they'll take it for 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. It's still daily, but then it is not correct and it's not consistent. So for it to be consistent and correctly used, you need to take it around the same time every day. Then you are sure of getting the effectiveness of it. Yes. Then we have the injectables. This is the once a month. So every month you have to go in for your injection. You'll be given a date, and you should go in around that date for your next one. And then this is 3 months. They are all hormones. This has 2, this has 1. And it's similar to the ones in the female already. So if you go when you are supposed to have it, then you are assured of preventing pregnancy. If for some reason you are ready to deliver or to get pregnant, you just stop taking it, and then the body will reverse it to your normal hormonal balance, and then you are good to become pregnant. Yes. Then we have the implants. We have the Jadel, we have the Implanol, the Implanol again. That one is inserted into the upper arm of the lady, and it can be there for 5 years, 3 years. But anytime you are ready to deliver, you just go in and get it removed, and then you become pregnant, and then you are ready to deliver. So it doesn't mean that because it's 5 years, 3 years, you have to wait for that time. No. What is telling you that its lifespan is 5 years, it's assured that it will protect you for 3 years. But anytime you are ready to become pregnant, you just go in, remove it, and then you become pregnant and you deliver. So those ones constitute the long-term ones. And then doctor talked about the IUD. We have the hormonal and we have the copper one. It does the same thing, just that the hormonal is for 5 years, and then the IUD, the copper T, is 10 to 12 years. Yes, but ideally the 12 years is difficult for people to remember, so we usually go 10 years so that it's easy to remember that your time is due. But that doesn't mean you have to wait for those years. As soon as you are ready to deliver, you come in, it's removed, and then you go and get pregnant, and then you deliver. So basically, these are the ones we have. But we can't talk about these things without talking about the emergency contraception. Because for now, in Ghana, it's been abused. People use it as a contraceptive method. After they've had sex, maybe I could get pregnant. Then they go in for it. But you see, the tablet, as it is, it's like this. But you see, it has the components of the daily pill, which has been crushed together to make it convenient to take it. Yes. So if you are going to take this regularly, then it's like taking an overdose of this at that interval that you are taking it. So this is not a family planning method. It is not to be promoted as such. As the name tells us, it's emergency contraception. So if the need arises, ideally once a year, you should take it. I mean, if you need to take it.
Not to cut you, but talking about this emergency contraceptive something, but I mean, we see it on air being promoted. I mean, this young man doesn't want the girlfriend to get pregnant, so go fetches this thing, and then it is all over the place.
Yes. but it is not a contraception. It's an emergency agent. When the need arises, you've had unprotected sex and you didn't want to get pregnant. You don't want any unintended pregnancies. Maybe it's a rape or an incest. Then you could take it. But it shouldn't be promoted as a regular family planning method. It tells us that once you take one dose of emergency contraception, it means that you have empowered yourself in the sense that you want to have sex, you don't want to become pregnant. That's why you went in for it. So this is time for you to go on to a regular family planning method. Yes, that's the message it tells you. So once you take it, then it means that you need to get to one of the regular family planning methods, because this is not a regular one and it should not be promoted as such.
Let me take you through again. Because if somebody is using this emergency tab for, let's say today, something happened, and then you are not even married.
Yes.
Today, or something happened, and then you argue about it. Okay, get it, take it. The following day, something happened, then you are going to take another one for 3 days, within the week, or I mean, in a month. If you are going through this activity and you have to take this almost on daily basis. I mean, it's
dangerous because this one that you take today protects you from maybe yesterday's unprotected sex. It doesn't protect you for the coming ones. So the next one you are going to take, and like I said, some of these tablets, it's as much as 25 of these crushed together, and you are going to take 2 doses. So that means you are going to take 50 tablets. And even those who are taking it once a day, some complain of slight headache. So if you are going to take 25 or 50 within 24 hours, then you can multiply the symptoms somebody on this one will have to this.
This is serious.
It is. So that's why we always hammer on it that it is not a contraceptive method. But because we are talking about family planning, the need may arise because you could be on a regular family planning method and maybe it fails you or you forgot to take it. Like maybe you're on the pills. You travel out of town and you forgot to take your pills. And then you realize that on coming back, you are going to have sex. So then you are not safe. So then after that sexual intercourse, you might need to take the emergency contraception. But then after that, you get back to your regular supply. And the same way, anybody who uses emergency contraception should be thinking about going on a regular family planning method so that that instance will not repeat itself again. Yes.
I'll come back to you. Yes. If you're watching the program, this is Weekend Review right on GTV Live, and we are discussing contraceptives. I mean, going on contraceptives before you get married. I mean, people are not married yet, they are on contraception. I mean, I wonder what is going on out there. But we have our WhatsApp line out there. We have our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich. Get connected to us and let's get friendly on this program. I'm sure the family is together, and you might be wondering, that daughter of yours, that son of yours, what is going on out there? This is the program that you have to watch, and you can educate your daughter or your son concerning some of these things, because there are some people, some ladies, some young girls out there who are doing family planning, yet they are not married. They are on pills almost every day just to make sure their so-called boyfriends or fiancés or whatever don't get them into the family way. And your daughter might be one of them. You might not even know. But Doc, let's
yes, I would like to just add a little more to what Madam said about the emergency contraception.
Yes.
In fact, emergency contraception means that you've had sexual intercourse and you are afraid that you might get pregnant. So there are various methods. In fact, one of them is even the IUD. That you could, if yesterday you had sex and you're afraid, you could quickly go and see your family planning nurse, and then they'll insert the IUD for you so that it prevents the egg from being released. It could also prevent if there's even fertilization, for implantation to occur, it can prevent it.
Wow.
So the IUD can be used as an emergency contraception method. And in the process, once you fear that you can get pregnant again, you just leave it there. So you want to get pregnant, and then it's removed for you. And within a few weeks, you are ready. You see, so, but unfortunately, a lot of young people, in fact,
they are abusing them.
Yes, in my experience, a lot of students in the university, people who have recently graduated, buy a lot of the emergency contraceptive pill and keep it. And anytime they have sex afterwards,
they want to just
so your example you gave is real. It happens every day. That in fact some take 2-3 times in a week, and it's terrible. You see, when you do this and later you have problems, then you blame it on the method of contraception. I don't think it's fair because you didn't use it properly, and that is a reality. Now, it is not supposed to be used as a regular method of contraception. It's once a while. It should be. In fact, you shouldn't have people saying that I use it twice a month, thrice a month. No, it shouldn't be like that. It's once in a long while, and the emergency situation, and immediately it happens, then it's an indication that gets a more regular method. You can go on the pill, you can go on the implants, you can go on the injectables. You know, you can, if you think you finished making your babies, you can go on the sterilization method. And there's an opportunity to be mentioned that even men too have methods of contraception. The vasectomy is still available, and it's not all the time that it's only about the women. The men too can be on some methods of contraception like the vasectomy, and it's possible. So if the woman, you don't want to get pregnant, you have options, and it's always better to talk to somebody who is well informed. Another challenge that we face on a daily basis is that a lot of our women who choose methods of contraception don't keep it to themselves. A teacher who is on a family planning method goes to tell all her colleagues at work that she's using injectable or she's taking the pill. The next time she has waist pains, you say, we said it. It is the contraception. So people tend to quickly blame your symptoms which are not related to your family planning method on the pills or the injection you are taking. And because of that, it looks as if contraception has a lot of risks, a lot of problems, a lot of side effects, and people are not willing to stay on the various methods and would prefer the emergency one, which also has its problems. In fact, it can fail. It fails. And once you use it a lot of times, the tendency of it failing to increases. It doesn't prevent you from sexually transmitted diseases. So, I mean, you should have a reason why you are using a method. That's why you always have to talk to somebody who is an expert in it to help you decide on which method to use and its likely side effects and complications. But like I said from the beginning, they have more advantages than disadvantages.
You made mention of this our ladies and people in this university and all that, but my concern now is with the youth. I mean, you are not married now, but you want to use this contraceptives and all these things, and let's take it gradually, because for all you know, there's a man out there, there's a woman out there whose daughter is involved in some of these things without the parents even knowing. Now, if you are not married and you want to go into this, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Start with it.
Yes.
You know, you are not married and you want to go through this. I don't know what you can say to this, because you are in school and you want to do family planning. Emergency pills and all that, please.
Please, emergency pill is not a family planning method and it shall not be promoted as such. Exactly. But you see, the good thing about contraceptive is for individuals and couples who have decided responsibly and freely that they're going to enjoy their sexual life without the fear of unintended pregnancies. And they are going to decide themselves when they will start having the sex, when they will stop. If they decide to, that whilst they're having the sex, do they want to become pregnant? If they do, then fine. If they don't, then they'll decide what they want to use to prevent that pregnancy. And even if they decide to become pregnant, they are going to decide when they'll start, when they'll end. They'll look for the intervals, the number of children they want to have. So contraception is for both the unmarried and the married. The mistake most people do is they say it's for the married. Then they leave the unmarried out. But whether we like it or not, they are having sex. When you go to the schools, as early as 9, 10, they are having the sex. So if they are, there's no way you can stop them from having it or not, because it's their decision, it's their choice, and they have their rights. When you look at the adolescent policy, they have their rights to decide. And even when they decide to have it, They have the right to decide to tell who they'll have it, who they'll have it with, and who they won't, and who will know, and who will know. Even with the family planning contraceptive, when you go to the adolescent-friendly centers, and they come asking for family planning or contraceptive, you don't have the right to tell them that you better go and finish learning before you come back here. There's this advert on TV that says, hey, you are doing, if at 19, then when you are my age, there's some, and it's just to send a message that anybody who is sexually active and doesn't want unintended pregnancy, because that unintended pregnancy is a psychological problem on its own.
Yeah.
So once they say to themselves that, well, I'm sexually active, I don't want to become pregnant, they have the right to contraception, married or unmarried. Yes. Yes. So once they are married and they come that they want contraception, it's your duty to give it. You don't put your religious views or your ethnic background or whatever principles you have. Once you've been trained as a service provider to give contraceptives, you have to do it. This is not the time to tell them that, let's do, you are not allowed to, I think you are too young to be starting sex. If you start now, when are you going to finish? Or by the time, it is not your duty. Your duty is to give them all the methods available at your facility, or all the methods available. If you don't do it at your facility, then it's in your interest to refer them where they can get the services provided. Yes.
You just give me a minute. If you're watching the program, it is still weekend review. Here we say we are bringing the family together and reshape society for tomorrow's generations. We want to get it right so that whatever mistakes we've made in the past, future generations after us will not walk through the same troubles and consequences. And please do call somebody also to call somebody to watch this program, because what we are discussing, it is quite huge. It is quite interesting. And going on contraceptives before you get married, and side effects, possible side effects, and preventive measures and all that. And let me come back to you on this one. If a young lady not married, I mean, I'm not even talking now about the emergencies, chooses to do this IUD or the implant or whatever, and it's, oh, I'm 19, I'm 20, I don't want to get pregnant for my boyfriend, so please do this for me. And then she puts something there for 5 years, and then after 5 years she comes to renew it for another 5 years, 10 years, and then that makes her almost about 30, 29 thereabouts, let's say 29. And now, okay, fine, she wants to marry, or she's married, and after the marriage, maybe she now wants to have babies, and after taking it off, and if babies are not coming, can we attribute that to that contraceptive she's used for about 10 years or 12 years?
Okay, thank you very much. That's interesting.
Yeah.
The methods that we have here, for her case, she would have been put on a hormonal method.
Okay.
The hormonal methods are just giving you hormones to suppress the release of the eggs.
Okay.
There's some mucus at the entrance of the womb. Exactly. That thickens when you take the medication, so that the sperm is not allowed to pass through.
Okay.
And it also thins the lining of the womb, so that even when there is fertilization, there's no bed for the
can we
exactly
show
the lining of the womb.
Okay.
Exactly, that lining, it usually prepares itself to receive a baby, the fetus. So if for any reason the lining is not properly made, and usually when you take the medications, it prevents the lining from forming. So it means that when there's fertilization, whatever is coming will not have a bed to lie in, so it will follow. So the drugs just make the environment uncomfortable for a pregnancy to occur. Now, when you stop taking the medication, or the implant is removed, or the device that was inserted is pulled out, everything just goes away. All the things it was causing stops. So now the egg will be released. The lining will form properly, and then the mucus that was blocking the entrance will lighten, will become very thin, so the sperm can easily pass through. So once you stop it, within a matter of days, you come back to how you were before you started using the method. So it is very, very, very unlikely. It's rare for you to say that the method of contraception has caused your infertility. No. If you are not able to get pregnant after using a method of contraception, you will have to see a doctor. It could be something else.
Okay.
It could be that you have fibroid. It could be that your partner, you are not having enough sex. It could be that you are not compatible. It could be that you are not even ovulating. You have a problem with your system already, and has nothing to do with the method of contraception that you used. Okay, so it's always important to talk to a doctor when you have a problem like that. And in fact, before we tell you that you have a fertility problem, that means that you should have had sex consistently, regularly, for at least 1 year. Unprotected.
The 1 year consistently.
One
you mean
year.
every day or
So every other day.
Every other day.
So at least thrice a week. If you do that thrice a week, if you do that for 1 whole year,
and
still nothing's happening, before we say that, okay, we can now investigate and see maybe there's a problem. So if you don't do that, and then you spend the time roaming from hospital to hospital, church to church, private, all sorts of places, and then you are not having sex, the sperm has to go in and fertilize the egg. If the sperms are not going in, and you are worried that you're not getting pregnant, you are harming yourself. So the most important thing is to take the method of contraception as you have been told, and take it from a recognized source. You take it for the period of time. If there's no, you think that now you are ready to get pregnant, you just go back, you stop it, you are given the appropriate advice, and then you are back on course. If there's a problem with fertility, it's most likely not due to the method of contraception, so you have to talk to a doctor.
I see. This is rather on the other side of it. Talking about this fertility thing, I mean, being consistent, and I've had a couple of people talk, because a month, 2 months, 3 months, nothing is happening, then they lazy out. I mean, they don't want to push, and can also affect, because sometimes, for all you know, maybe the time the hormones will be ready, you will not be there.
Exactly. Let me just put it this way. When the egg is released, it starts, so the egg is released, it's supposed to move through. Now, when you are anxious and there's anxiety, this tube moves up a bit from the ovary. So the egg release will not even get to enter the tube. Okay, that is one. When the egg is released, in fact, a lot of women, within 12 to 24 hours, if the egg is not fertilized, it is dead. So that means that in a whole month, the woman, you only have 12 to 24 hours to get pregnant. Do you understand?
Wow.
So, but the advantage is that the sperms can stay long in the tube and in the womb. Some sperms can stay long as 7 days. 4 to 7 days. They can stay that long. So, if you are not having regular sexual intercourse, and in fact, some sperms can stay for only 2 to 3 days. In fact, some 2 are as weak that only 1 day they will die. So that if your timing is not good, you can miss the egg for 5 years. If your timing, you are still missing it, and you are complaining. But that's why we say regular sexual intercourse. You must have it. If you don't have regular sexual intercourse, you have no basis saying that you have a pregnancy problem.
Wow.
Okay, so it's regular. So if you want to get pregnant, you must have regular sexual intercourse. So if your husband lives elsewhere, you also live somewhere else, and you want to get pregnant, and you meet once a month, you can miss it. You can miss it for 10 years. Yeah, so that's why it's important to have regular sexual intercourse. It's important. It's fundamental to getting yourself pregnant. Yeah, that is one. Fundamental. So it's not that your drugs have caused you a problem. No, it's just that you are not timing right.
I see.
So basically,
now let me come back to my original point, where I mean, going on contraceptives before you get married. Now, I don't know, but let's get this right. A young woman who is not married. Because when we started, I said something that when we were growing up, we knew that it was like those who want to do family planning, who want to check their birth children, all that, and spacing and all that. And but for a young woman who is not married and want to go on contraceptives, I said earlier, should it be of the concern of the parents, or she can do that on her own? And how advisable is that?
For the consent, the reproductive rights of the adolescent says they don't need the consent. So ideally, if she gets the consent, fine. But if she doesn't, or she doesn't want to get it, she's free. She has the right to walk into any center and say, I need contraceptive. That's why I'm here. And it should be given to her.
Wow.
Or him.
Wow.
Yes.
Look, let me ask this question again, because there's so many things going through my mind right now. And one of the biggest issue I have now is that if you go on this contraceptive, one, to your boyfriend or to whatever girlfriend you have, you are not married yet. And as to whether the person faithfulness or unfaithfulness or whatever it is, you cannot, so to say, vouch for. How safe is it? I mean, should we go to that extent? I mean, why would a young lady want to, so to say, satisfy the boyfriend so much that, oh, I don't want to put you into trouble. I don't want to get pregnant for you. I mean, I don't want to put myself into trouble. So in order to make you happy or whatever, let me do this just to make you. I mean, I don't know what you can say.
Right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So usually, we begin with this. Remember, we had this ABCD abstain, and we advise that you abstain.
Exactly.
It's been shown that places where you preach only abstinence, they get a lot of infections and a lot of unintended pregnancies are higher in those areas than places where you give them comprehensive contraception advice. Okay. Now, the comprehensive is that if you cannot abstain, you have options. You can be faithful to your partner alone so that it minimizes the risk of sexually transmitted diseases. And if you add your other methods to it, it will help prevent the pregnancy. If you cannot use the condom, there are various drugs available. Now, if you decide that you are going to use the pill, you should be aware that it doesn't protect you from sexually transmitted diseases. You should be aware of that. You'll be told. So you and your partner would have to decide. If you are going to be on that method, then you must both be very faithful to each other. There's no point in preventing pregnancy and then getting AIDS. So you would want to discuss that very well. If you give you the implant or insert the IUD, still it will prevent a pregnancy, but it doesn't protect you from sexually transmitted diseases. Now, for young people, teenagers, adolescents, young adults, we advise them to use the long reversible methods, the implants, the 3-month injection. That one, because the fear is that the pills, you are supposed to take it every day.
When you miss one day,
you can get pregnant because every day you take it, it prevents the egg from being released. So if, for instance, some of them you can delay for not more than 3 hours. Some you can delay for up to 12 hours. If you are taking a 3-hour one and you delay for 5 hours, the egg can be released. And if there's a sperm waiting in the tube, it will fertilize it. So exactly. So those are some of the disadvantages of the pill. So if we think that you are at risk of missing out, then we tell, okay, you can take the implant or take the injection, and it will cover you for that period of time. And regularly you come for your medication if you are taking the injection. If it's the implant, we know 5 years or 3 years, you come back. So they are good. The pregnancy aspect will prevent it, but there are other problems like sexual transmitted disease which they might not prevent, which they will not prevent actually. So you are advised to add a condom to it if you are afraid that you might get a sexually transmitted disease or you are not sure of your partner. So those are the problems associated with the family planning method. But for younger people, we always recommend them to take the implants or the injections.
I see. So you can tell me for a fact, or maybe by medical whatever point of view, that this young woman who was on this IUD or whatever for quite almost about 8-9 years, and now she's looking out for pregnancy. She's not. It is not because she used.
The family
very unlikely.
Very unlikely, because we have so many people who have used it, they stop, deliver, and they come back for the method, or they change the method.
I see.
Yes, it all depends on your fertility. Yes, but the family planning to cause infertility, no.
Wow.
No.
I see. Before I came here, I had 1 or 2 issues discussed with some people, and some women are actually going for some of these things without even telling their husbands. And I like the smile on your face. And well, like couples, let's now handle it. I don't know, why would some women actually want to do this without even telling their husbands?
Well, you see, like I said at the beginning, going on contraceptive, it's a responsible, freely and responsibly, the individual or the couple decide. So if the couple decides, fine, it's ideal for us. When we get the couple coming to clinic, we like it because it gives you the opportunity to explain things to both of them, and they are better informed to use the method correctly and consistently. But if somebody comes as an individual, she knows herself, she knows where she's coming from. She goes through the pregnancy at the end of the day, and she knows what it takes to go through the pregnancy to take care of the child. So if she thinks she needs it and she comes, we will give it to her. Ideally, like I said, the consent of the partners is good, but if it is not there, the individual alone, it's enough, because at the end of the day, she carries the pregnancy. And the reproductive health rights, if they come individually, give to them. If they come in a group, give it to them. Comes with a partner, give it to them. Just that it's when they come in, the partner, the couple come, it promotes healthy relationships in their reproductive, because some of these things, people don't talk about them. So when they come to the clinic together, it is a good time to set the pace for them to talk about their reproductive health. Yes, because once they start it at the clinic, they'll end it in the house.
Okay. Let me just give an example. If a lady comes for the pill, she's supposed to take it every day at a particular time. She decides to take it at 6 a.m. every day, and she hasn't told her husband, and she's in the room with the husband. How will she take it without telling the husband? It means she will be hiding, because she doesn't want the husband to know that she's taking a pill. So it can also lead to inconsistency. It's always easier and more convenient for everybody if the couple come together. So the partner can even remind you, hey, when you're fighting, you know, you know, oh, time now soon, you know. So it helps, and it promotes healthy relationship. If you come alone and you are sneaking, it's not good, but we'll not say that because you came alone, we'll not give you. We'll still give you the method. But it's always recommended that the partners exactly, if it's possible. Sometimes too, she's not married, she's single, and she still wants a method.
I see.
Why not?
So, but in a case whereby the woman comes in for this preventive whatever and method, and let's say you the man, you know, you are, hoping for pregnancy, and you are doing everything consistently, but this is the woman who has something in her body, and all your energy and efforts go with, I don't know, you
go with. This one, you have to see your marriage counselor. It means there's a marital problem. Because
why doesn't she want to? There's a reason.
There's a marital problem.
Maybe she takes care of the children, and she thinks that once she has at hand, it's enough. She can conveniently look after them.
And then you some husband.
Yes.
And she doesn't want
it. You don't want it. Yes. Because many a time we have ladies coming themselves, and then they have the method without the consent of the partner, because they say the partner doesn't want them to do family planning.
Exactly.
At the same time, the way he should provide for the family, he's not doing so. So she has taken a decision looking at her circumstances and has decided freely and responsibly that as for this, no more children. Let me take care of the ones at hand.
At least for the next 2 years.
That is it.
Exactly. Okay.
That is it. And even sometimes, there are some groups of people who they don't want their partner to take family planning. And the lady knows what she's going through, so she comes in for it. And if we had instances where some of the men also asked about the tablets, they saw it, the pills. And the woman told them that, well, when I went to the clinic, they said I'm anemic, or so they gave it to me. And then they ended up taking it till somebody let the pins out of the bag and said, well, what you are taking is family planning. They said, well, my wife said it is for anemia. So me too, if she's what is good for the goose is good for the gander.
They are taking it together.
Yes. But ideally, like Doc said, it makes the relationship stronger and better when there's consent of all. But if it is not there, that doesn't mean she should go through, because you know the maternal mortalities we are having is because the woman became pregnant and went to deliver and they didn't come back home. So then it goes to say that if there is no pregnancy, there won't be any maternal mortality.
Okay.
And then to get pregnant, you have to have sex. So it all boils down to it, because she's the one who is going to go through that room, go through that delivery, go through that pregnancy. And if she thinks it's enough and she wants to control it and you don't want to help her, she has the right to control it. Because when she dies, she's going alone. No? How the other children she leaves behind will be taken care of is another dilemma. Yes.
I agree. The program is Weekend Review right here on GTV Live, Your Religion and Culture, and we are discussing contraceptives. I mean, people who are going on pills and other injections just to prevent pregnancy, and we are looking at the advantages and the disadvantages to it. And probably you have your daughter out there or your son, and he's so engrossed with this young man or this young woman, and they want to use their own kind of method to ensure that their relationship doesn't bring anything. But you as a parent, I don't know what your involvement will be. Do you discuss with your children how best to let them walk, I mean, in this kind of safe pathways? And then I have doctors here with me, and they are showing us a whole lot of things. But we have our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich, and then our WhatsApp line is also out there. Get connected to us and let's discuss this program together. I think there's something you showed earlier about this natural something.
Yes.
Okay, can you take us through?
We have the natural family planning, which falls under the short-term family planning.
Okay.
And it helps the woman to know her fertile period. When she can get pregnant and when she cannot. And using this, she usually has sex on the days she's not likely to get pregnant.
Okay.
So this one needs partner consent.
Okay.
Because if you're on your fertile days and your partner wants to have sex, then the possibility of you getting pregnant is high. Okay. So there's this tool which is used to help the couple or the individual to know when they are fertile and when they are not fertile.
Okay.
The brown beads days is the days she can have sex and know that she will not get pregnant.
Okay.
And the white bead days are the days that she's more likely to get pregnant if she has unprotected sex. The red bead here just gives her the day of her first menstrual period.
Okay.
And then we have this band here which moves every day. She has to move it every day, either she or the partner. But then it should be there should be an understanding that only one person moves it.
Okay.
Because if I move and my partner moves, then I'll get to my unsafe period earlier than I should. Yes.
Okay.
So one person should move it. So if today is the first day of your menstrual period, you put the black band on the red.
Okay.
And then every day you move it.
Okay.
And the brown beads are telling you that on these days you can have unprotected sex and you wouldn't get pregnant. But once you get to the white bead day, it means that on these days you can get pregnant. And this method can only be used for those who have a cycle of 26 to 32 days. Yes. If your cycle is less than 26, you cannot use it. If it's more than 32, you cannot use it. But research has shown that more than 90% of people have their cycle within the 26-32 day range. Yes. So this is a tool just to help us, because before you'd have to mark it on a calendar and then know your cycle and know when you are fertile and when you are not fertile. But with this, it can tell you offhand. And the good thing about the white beads, when the lights are off, it glows.
Okay.
So if it's hanging at a convenient place, once your partner sees that this is on that, then he knows that it's unsafe. If I have to, then I have to use a barrier method to prevent pregnancy. Yes. And it's very good because it lets them know their cycle. They better understand their cycle. So we find out that with time, they know when they have their period, they know when they are fertile, when they are not fertile.
Okay.
So it's a good tool for the young ones to know
so
their cycle.
It's not supposed to be worn, like you can't just hang it in the room or something.
You can't hang it or put it around your neck. You are just to have it at a convenient place where you can remember. If you have children, you should be away from them, because when they see this, they will move it for you and you'll be in trouble. Yes.
It is quite interesting.
Yes. So just at a convenient place between you and your partner, so that you know when. And then with this, you don't have to do much talking. Once he sees he's here, he knows that
he has to use a condom.
Or abstain.
So it's good.
Yes.
The way he said it's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's also enables your partner to know your cycle.
Yes, and even gets involved.
It doesn't worry you unnecessarily.
Yes, and he also gets involved in the unintended pregnancies.
Yes,
I see.
Yes, and it even helps because once, like we said, once the partner is involved in preventing the unintended pregnancy, it has already opened the dialogue for their reproductive health, which most couples don't talk about. But with this, it allows you the opportunity to talk about your reproductive health. Or as for today, I'm not safe, this and that alone has opened the dialogue for the couple. Yes.
I see. Now, let's come back to my issue. We are looking at young people who are not married and want to be on some of these things. Advice to both parents and the young ones out there. I don't know how we're going to go about it though, but do you think a young woman who is in the university or in the secondary school is okay? Is he matured? I mean, is she ready to go through this pregnancy preventive, whatever? I mean, it's before you.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I must say that the days where we preach only abstinence are long gone.
Okay.
And if we,
because no matter what you tell them, they will still do.
You cannot be with the kids all the time. Now, fathers are working, mothers are working. You cannot strictly monitor your kids and say that you will make sure that they will not be involved in sexual activity. No. So the days of preaching abstinence only are long gone. The advice is to discuss their sexual health with them. For young people, it's the best. If you hide information from them, they will learn it from TV, from movies, and from their friends. And peer pressure can really be bad. So for parents, my advice is that be open. Discuss the sexual health of your children with them.
So if he or she chooses to abstain,
that's the person's choice. But let them know that these are the problems associated and this is the situation. Now, if they decide to go on a method, you have to help them. Don't be harsh. You have to help them decide on a method. So you have to discuss their sexual health very, very well with them. Encourage them if they have to. Encourage them to use an appropriate method. And our adults, in fact, now almost every polyclinic has an adolescent health corner where adolescents and young adults go for education. So it's good. If you come for a method, we'll discuss with you and we'll help you decide on the most appropriate method. Like I said earlier, the methods, usually for young people, I'll advise a long-term reversible methods. They are there, various 3 months, 1 month, 5 years, 9 years. There are options. The options are there. The point to always remember is that these methods do not protect you against sexually transmitted diseases. So if your priority is to prevent HIV/AIDS and other sexual transmitted diseases, then you are better off using the barrier method, especially the condom.
I see.
And those ones you are guaranteed will offer you solid protection against sexually transmitted diseases. And the advantages they give you far outweigh the disadvantages. And the risks that people talk about are very, very rare and very, very minimal. These are drugs that have been carefully made to protect us against getting pregnant. So they will not significantly increase your risk of developing other problems. And the risks are very, very minimal. The advantages are better. And the options are there. If you try A and it doesn't work, you go to B, doesn't work, C. There are various drugs. Even the pills, there are different types. That's you. If you try the first one, it doesn't work, you can try another one. And the options are there a lot with minimal disadvantage. So options are there.
Your last shot.
The last shot is as much as A is for abstinence. If you can abstain, fine. If not, your intention is to prevent the unwanted pregnancies. Go for a contraceptive method, and that's emergency contraception, as the name implies, is for emergency. Don't use it as a regular family planning method, you are doing yourself more harm than good.
I see. I don't know what to say, but I'm so grateful. I mean, it's been such an insightful moment on this show, and we say a big thank you for passing through Dr. Leslie and Dr. Desiree. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are so grateful. We are so grateful. Now, viewers, I don't know about you, but we have our WhatsApp line out there, Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich. And you can call after the program if you want their numbers. If there's anything that you want them to clarify, their numbers will be given, and you can contact them for further clarification, because it's quite mind-boggling. I mean, it's quite huge. I mean, all these stuff there. But we are ending the show. We'll see you same time next week. But a big thank you also to my production team, my sound man, my cameraman, my floor manager, my director. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being there week after week. What can we say? God richly bless you all. We'll see you same time next week. But redeeming the family glory, you cannot miss.
Tell me, what can I do?
It's happening again on GTV Live. Get the family together and let's pray for God's glory. Join Weekend Review with Dollarich on GTV Live in Redeeming the Family Glory, an exclusive atmosphere of worship and prayer. GTV Live, your religion and culture channel, invites you to come intercede, rebuild and to restore the family glory. The venue is Fountain Gate Assemblies of God, Chantang, opposite Apekamoto Way, JHS with Reverend Godson at Sigbeche. Date 1st May 2016. Time 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. sharp. Theme: the family honor. Proverbs chapter 13 verse 22. Precious one, Evangelist Don Nicole Dollarich of Weekend Review Show on GTV Live believes you can redeem the family glory through relentless prayer.
Here's my mind, I give you my soul, Lord.